Mini Matters, a miniature painting podcast.
Where are we? Second episode. Or it might not be. It depends what order Lionel has uploaded this. But welcome everyone to an episode with Arnau, Lionel and Jamie. So thanks again, guys, for staying on while we hit the record button again. Because obviously we've introduced you before. So today, in this episode, we're looking at Iron Man. And I don't know, do I need to give more information than that? It's like, you know, it'll be in the thumbnail. You know why you're here.
Thor. Looking at Thor.
Oh, of course, that's why you looked me that look. It's because I was looking at his hammer, and it's probably made of iron.
Right,
no one else can. Right, there you go. So yeah, I guess ideally it's just a chat about, I guess, the approach and what you found fun, what you didn't find fun, why you did it a certain way, and yeah, it's just that's what. Yeah.
This was the second one I did. The first one was the Colossus, and it was quite an important piece for me that I will talk about later in another episode. But this was the beginning when I decided. I was always in love with the Night Models range of Marvel, and I wasn't quick enough to buy them when I started painting. I was broke as well, so no chance. And now I thought I would like to have this collection and paint it. I don't have figures in my home. I don't own my figures. I always sell them, and I don't have any. And the only one that I still have, and people offered me a lot of money for him, and I never sold them. Is the Colossus, and I thought, why not doing all the range, collect all the range, and it's difficult, I know, but I would love to see. I would love to be the first one or the only one to have the whole range painted by me, and
Yeah.
And because I love to paint them, and this was the first one after the Colossus.
But the Thor, when I saw it, it wasn't a commission, was it? You painted this for fun.
Yeah, it's just for me.
Yeah.
So, is it mostly driven by the models themselves, or do you enjoy the comic book art, the Marvel comics as well?
Yeah,
combination of the two.
Yeah, Marvel is one of the comic. Well, it's the series that I always read. Thor is one of my favorite characters of all time.
Okay.
And I wanted to start strong with one of my faves. And the models, they have something unique. I think they are different.
Yeah.
Now that I have a lot of them at home, they are maybe they have a lot more care on it. It's hard to say because I'm not saying that now figures are worse, not at all, but they are made in a different way. And the packaging is so cared, and I don't know. And the thing that nobody can have them because you cannot buy them makes them also more special.
Mm-hmm.
And having this collection is like, I don't know, extra special.
Do you have all the collection yet?
I have maybe 70%.
Right.
Is it worth doing a little shout out now to anybody who watches who wants to sell you their models that you don't have, or would that make it not special anymore?
That would be quite good. Also, people don't buy them because just for me, please, because I find that
I started buying some. I've got a couple.
I saw after I posted some of these in Instagram, I saw people looking for them, and I was like, shit, it just was for me, not for you.
Yeah. I've wanted to do a video for the Hutber show. It's very aptly named on original artwork, and like I wanted to call it, original artwork and where to find it. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I could possibly do, because all of a sudden everyone's going to know how to get original artwork, which is what I like buying. So it's a tough position to be in.
Yeah.
In terms of this piece, how did you go about approaching it? Because obviously it has got obviously a cartoonish style too, but also I think when you look at the non-metallic metal in particular and the features on his face, there is a sort of, as you said earlier, a hyper realistic look to it. Was that a deliberate choice, or have you looked at a particular piece of comic book art, maybe like Alex Ross, and that's fed into it, or what was your general approach for this style?
I don't think it's hyper realistic. In fact, I don't think it's realistic at all.
Shots fired.
I'm sorry. It's exaggerated, really exaggerated. It's like this American comic style. It's classic American comic style. The non-metallic, it's something that I tried with Colossus many years ago.
Yeah.
Because I painted, I think Colossus was the third 75 I painted ever. And even though I knew more or less what to do, I wasn't too skilled. And in this case, I tried to perfect it. And this kind of very bright metallic that almost scream light, they are very fun to do also. And
easy or challenging?
I wouldn't say, maybe challenging. In this case, for sure challenging, because you have to do every square, and at first you have to paint the entire volume. But when you approach the final stages, you have to start drawing inside each square lights and shadows, and there are a lot of them. Like I calculated, I think more than 1,000 squares.
Well, 2 points there is, first of all, that you actually did count, and second of all, there were that many. Like,
no, I just multiplied and rows.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think it was 400 or something like that. I don't know.
It's a hell of a lot.
Suddenly, everybody looking for that rare Thor miniature stopped looking.
Well, I have this, so I don't mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me, the reason I keep saying it, what hyper realistic or looks realistic to me, is because of the amount of non-metallic metal and because of the way it's been rendered. It sometimes looks to me from certain angles that it could be a historical figure. I think that's where I'm getting that grounded in reality kind of feel. Clearly, the colors you've used on the base then bring it back up to comic book style and that style. But I think it's how well rendered. Particularly, I'm looking at the helmet as well. That it feels to me quite realistic.
Yeah. I think I just like, I agree, Lionel, on the sense, because the Iron Man isn't trying to be realistic. It's like a anime comic style, and like you say, this, I think when we coin the term realistic, it's more like it's not painted in like a Games Workshop style or an anime style. It's more just like, this wouldn't be real, but it feels like it has an essence of realism. Yeah,
I think I know what you're saying, but imagine now this helmet in your hand, in the sun. It would be absolutely boring, in the fact that it would have one big bright shine, and most of it will be gray. And I mean, you are seeing it in the picture, and you're maybe thinking, "Oh, this works. This is non-metallic." But then, if you think properly in the reality, having the helmet in your hand, it would be absolutely different than this. Absolutely, it would have anything in common, because reality is usually way more boring and way more difficult to translate into a figure, because as it's boring, it's a lot more easy to feel like it's unpainted, because it has less information and less shines and less reflections. And
It's a tough balance then as an artist to, get those two sort of points right, because so often I find myself going, the light wouldn't hit here, it'd go, and then I'm looking at the model and I'm trying to think of different ways to, and then I try and remember, and I'm still nowhere near there, but I always try and remember it's art, so you can put it how you want it to be. If you don't have to explain to some twat on the internet who's going, this doesn't make sense. I don't know why I'm making him sound like that. He might sound totally normal, but you don't have to justify your artistic choices based on the fact that some sort of physics or some sort of bollocks basically isn't real. It still gets me though every time.
In that topic, sorry to cut you.
No, go ahead.
There was a piece by Kirill Kanaev that I don't understand. I don't know if that's magic or what, because
which one was it?
It's I don't know which one specifically. It's one that has a blue rope all around, and it's super plain, like really, really boring. But it's hyper realistic in a way that it's unbelievable, and I see it in life many times, and I still cannot believe that that's a paint, that's not cloth. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Is it this one?
You see how plain it is. It's not. It has not many reflections or many contrast. But it's absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best things I've seen in hyperrealism in figures. Or one of the.
Is it this model?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
That blue thing.
Yeah.
It's like you can remove it and put it on yourself.
And it's fussy.
Yeah.
I think, obviously this video isn't at all, it's meant to be comics, right? But just to quickly talk about it, like, I think what I do find him fascinating, his models, is because they all are this kind of level of craziness, and that's a good thing. But the tonal variations on that blue, from my eye, I can only see a few, and yet
right. That's what I'm saying. That there's not contrast like we used to. Yeah. And when you don't put that contrast, you can see the paint, and then the illusion is gone. You find that's a painted figure, a resin painted figure. But in this case, there's no contrast, and the illusion still's in, and that's what it's mind-bending.
I absolutely love hearing artists that are at the top level talk about other artists, because it's like hearing Albert talk about you guys. It's so funny, because it's like, well, you produce these things, but then because everybody still has different talents, different skills, there's such an appreciation on what the other crazy bastards are doing. Like, anyway, I suppose we shouldn't go into it too long, because I could look at that for a long time.
I suppose once again, drawing the analogy as well, I see a lot of Kirill's influence there in the non-metallic metal, and that's probably why I'm making that connection between hyper-realistic, or not hyper-realistic, probably a more realistic rendering. I'm not familiar with the model normally, and it's only now that it's been brought up on screen, even though I've seen it so many times on Instagram, that I've noticed the hammer is actually coming back to him, so to speak. Is that how the original model is, or is that a conversion you've done?
No, well, the hammer comes alone, and the hand comes in this position, and then you do whatever you want with them. I in the box art, it's sort of like this, not exactly. I just glue it in the finger, and that's it. I think it was meant to be like that, but it's one of those pieces that you can do whatever you want, because there's not a pin to put one inside of the other.
Yeah.
I've heard that some Elven models have that kind of flexibility in their newest releases. No one will get this reference at all.
Smooth.
I'm technically not allowed to do this, by the way, but it's fun for me to plug it. Good. No one will get that ever. Yeah.
Okay, so this piece, then it's gone to a private collector now, has it?
No, it's mine.
He's
Oh, it's
keeps
still
these.
yours.
And you've got
yeah,
Colossus as well.
The Marvel Knight models one are in my cabinet,
Well,
and
for
you can
yourself.
fight me to death. That I will not sell them.
Okay. So there's not a price you would accept.
No. I have to be under a
like
bridge and still
dead.
difficult.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, how many have you got painted then? This and Colossus.
And Black Cat.
Black Cat.
And I have one coming. The fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. It's one of my
Okay, yeah.
favorites,
Yeah.
and I'm taking care of a lot more than I used to.
This is love. This is basically your passion project then.
Yeah. In these cases, I try to not rush, even though I always do at the end, of course. But I try to take my time and do things properly.
I've currently got 2 that I've sourced, and they'll sit in a box.
Oh, here we go.
until I feel that I'm at a stage I can do some kind of justice to them. So
this is it's a horrible problem, isn't it? Because do you ever find yourself?
And I can hear Alfonso now. I can hear Alfonso's voice going, "Don't wait. Get paint on it now and start painting it. A model is never finished. You can always come back and improve." I can hear him now, but I'm the same as you are.
Lionel, bro.
Yeah, I'm the same as you are now. That they're so hard to source, and my love for comic books and Marvel in particular is so fond that it does feel like something very special, like a very special treasure that I've got to do justice to. Obviously, I'll never be able to do justice in the way that you've done, but in my own way.
In this case, I can. Well, I think we should speak about that in the Colossus episode. But
yeah, sure.
Sneak peek. Maybe doing it will push you, because if you care so much about it, you will give way more, and maybe it will be the breaking point of this so looked for level up. It won't be in place if you don't put yourself in a situation where you have to,
of course, push
what are you going to do, Lionel?
The comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. By next week, I want it painted, mate. Quit your job as well.
Okay. On that point, then I think what we'll do is we'll end Thor now, and join us once again on a future episode where we'll look at another piece of Arnau's work and critique it and look at it in some detail. Once again, guys, if you could subscribe and like the video, we appreciate it. Please leave your comments below. We do like reading them, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Less enthused with our goodbyes. See you later.